It's Eric back at the Naturopath. Thank you for coming back. Probiotics. When people talk about probiotics, they sometimes today talk about products that contain 10, 20, 30, 50 strains. You know, they seem to think that the more strains you cram into a capsule, the better the product's going to be. What a load of baloney. It's just so stupid thinking like that. It doesn't work like that. You don't need dozens upon dozens upon dozens of strains. In my opinion, what you need is something that's quality, something that's proven to be good, okay? And again, I've said this before in other videos when I've talked about dietary supplements. I don't really care what people buy, okay? That's up to the individual. You can get whatever you want to get. But if you're serious about probiotics, try and have a think about the people who pioneered the industry. Think about the people who talked about bacteria being good for health, that were laughed off stage and treated like, well, like complete morons. So people have been looking at beneficial bacteria seriously, particularly for the supplement industry, probably since the late 1950s in the United States, early 1960s. I can remember way back when I was a student and we talked about probiotics. This is back in the 80s. Even before I studied in the early 80s, like 1982, 83, when I talked to medical friends about probiotics, I was just laughed at. People thought I was a complete idiot. Like, why would you want to swallow bacteria? Don't you know that all bacteria are bad for health, you know? Oh yes, but I remember talking to one doctor about it, about the benefits of, you know, lactobacillus, and looking at research that was completed by a scientist called Michikenoff, who did a lot of work on lactobacillus in the early days. And this doctor said, man, that's so stupid, you know, these things, all they do is cause disease. That's why we developed antibiotics, to get rid of all these bacteria, you know. Anyway, wind the clock forward now, what, 40 years, and a lot of medical doctors, wow, have you heard about the benefits of probiotics that we now give after antibiotics? To me, that's a little bit like sending in the cleanup crew after you've dropped bombs, okay? So that's like basically saying to someone, well, let's bomb your city first, but then we'll get someone to come through with a dustpan and clean it all up. How's that? Because that's basically what you're doing, isn't it? If you're serious about probiotics, you need to also be serious about understanding the negative role that antibiotics play. So it's not just a matter of taking the anti and then the pro after to make it all good, okay? You don't punch someone in the face and then try and powder their nose after, do you? To me, that's what it's like, right? It's a big insult to someone's intelligence. I've been saying this for years, but the day will come when people regret that they ever took antibiotics or involved in this whole, you know, this whole circus industry, because to me, it doesn't make sense. But what makes a good probiotic? A good probiotic is not something made of 20, 30, or 50 strains. It's made by somebody or a company who understands the benefits, okay, of particular strains that have not only been scientifically researched, but used on people for dozens upon dozens upon dozens of years, okay? Products that have been proven in the industry for a long period of time. Now, 30 or 40 years is a long period of time in the probiotic industry, and that's exactly why I like using the DDS1, the Department of Dairy Science 1, Lactobacillus acidophilus, developed by Dr. Kem Shahani. Go to Wikipedia, type in Kem Shahani, okay? S-H-A, H-A-N-I, Shahani, okay? And read the page on Wiki on Dr. Kem, on his research, on the fact he was a pioneer. Over 200 papers published on the lactobacillus, okay? Many patents on this particular strain. Taking a super high quality strain of a human lactobacillus, because this particular strain was based on the human, from the human gut, okay, not from some petri dish and laboratory developed like many are today, okay, and then used, okay, in vivo and in vitro, so used with humans as well as laboratory studies for decade upon decade. That's the sort of research I look at. People that were laughed at and called clowns, and then later, okay, their work was validated. This is important stuff to think about, okay? So next time you buy something on iHerb that's got 45 strains in it and it doesn't make any sense, you're probably buying junk, in my opinion. Probiotics are what shook up the dietary supplement industry in America big time many years ago. So over half of the companies, when the supplements were tested, had literally no viable bacteria in their capsules at all. Okay, many companies went out of business, and the FDA kicked them to the curb. These were just absolute quack companies. Now, quack companies don't exist so much today because GMP was enforced. Good manufacturing procedures are enforced. But just be very, very careful about the strains that you buy. You don't need 50 strains. 1 or 2 high-quality strains, along with the correct way of eating, will make all the difference in the world. Okay, but there's no point taking a quality probiotic if you're going to have a can of Dr. Pepper and then a donut later that day. That's not really going to do you much good, is it? So when you're serious about probiotics and you start eating good food, that's when you'll really notice the magic happens. And the magic does happen, and it will happen to you, okay? But you need quality, not quantity. That's what I'm trying to say in this video, all right? Thanks for tuning in.